Welcome back, everyone. You're tuning in to very first episode of Podcast and Chill. I'm Jack, always here to add a bit of laughter to your day.
And I'm Emma, here to give you the best tips and tricks for your daily grind. Today, we're diving into a topic that resonates with many of our listeners.
Yes, we're talking about the classic dilemma. I can understand English, but I can't speak it well. It's a frustrating situation for many learners out there.
Absolutely, Jack. But fear not, folks. We've got some great strategies to help you break through that barrier.
That's right. Speaking English fluently is a skill, and like any skill, it takes practice and the right approach. So today, we're here to guide you on this journey and share some personal stories along the way.
Let's get started. And remember, it's all about taking small steps toward big improvements.
So, let's dive into this listening speaking gap. Why do you think it exists, Emma?
Great question, Jack. One main reason is the lack of practice. Many learners listen a lot but don't get enough speaking practice.
That makes sense. Listening is passive, but speaking is active. You need to actually use the language to improve speaking skills.
Exactly, Jack. Another reason is the fear of making mistakes. This fear can stop people from speaking, even if they understand everything.
I see. So it's like being afraid to jump into the pool because you think you might sink.
Absolutely. And there's also the issue of mental translation. Many learners translate from their native language to English in their heads, which slows down their speaking significantly.
That must be exhausting, constantly translating every sentence before you say it.
It is, Jack, and it prevents the kind of spontaneous conversation that fluent speakers have.
Makes sense. What about thinking speed? I've heard that's a big barrier too, right?
You are right. If your brain isn't trained to think quickly in English, it can be hard to keep up in a conversation.
So it's really about building that mental agility to switch between languages seamlessly.
Yeah, and that takes us back to practice. The more you speak, the better your brain gets at processing and producing English naturally.
It's like working out, but for your brain.
Exactly, Jack. And just like muscles, it needs regular workouts to stay in shape.
So, Emma, talking about breaking the silence, how do we start tackling this fear of speaking English?
Well, Jack, the first step is acknowledging the fear. Accept that it's okay to be scared, but don't let that stop you.
That's right, Emma. It's like diving into a pool. The water might be cold at first, but you'll get used to it.
Exactly. And start with small steps, maybe practice speaking English with friends or in front of a mirror.
I've heard about this mirror practice before. It sounds funny, but effective.
It is, Jack. It helps you see your own expressions and slowly builds confidence as you watch yourself improve.
And don't forget about recording yourself. Sometimes listening to your own voice can help you notice improvements or areas that need work.
True. Also, setting small, achievable goals can make the process less daunting, like learning 5 new words today or starting a conversation at the store.
Breaking it down like that makes it seem more manageable.
What about embracing mistakes?
Absolutely essential, Emma. We learn from mistakes, not from being perfect. Embrace them as part of the learning curve.
Think of them as stepping stones rather than stumbling blocks.
Precisely. And remember, every conversation you start, even if it ends in a mix-up, is a victory.
I love that approach. It's turning the journey into something exciting and explorative rather than stressful.
Yes, and by speaking out, you're not only improving your language skills, but also your self-esteem.
So, folks, remember, start small, embrace mistakes, and use every opportunity to practice. That's how you break the silence.
And soon enough, you'll find that fear of speaking becomes less and less significant.
Moving on, Jack, let's dive into how our listeners can practice speaking daily. Even when they're alone, there's plenty to do, right?
Absolutely, Emma. A great way to start is by narrating your daily activities. Describe what you're doing as if you're in a documentary.
That sounds fun. So I could say something like, here we see Jack preparing his morning coffee, a crucial ritual for his productivity.
Exactly, Emma. And another method is to use technology. There are plenty of apps that allow you to talk and give you feedback.
Apps, huh? Can they really replace talking to real people?
They can't replace human interaction, but they are a fantastic supplement, especially for pronunciation practice.
Speaking of which, reading aloud is another excellent practice. It helps with both pronunciation and fluency.
So just grab a book and start reading. Any book will do?
Well, it's best to choose something at your level, and maybe something fun or interesting to you, so it doesn't feel like a chore.
What about talking to your pets? I bet they're great listeners.
Absolutely, Jack. Speaking to pets or even to plants can make the practice more relaxing and less stressful.
And let's not forget the classic, talking to yourself in the mirror. It's a great way to build confidence.
Do that all the time, not just for English practice, honestly.
Well, that explains a lot, Emma. But seriously, folks, all these methods can help you integrate English speaking into your daily life without feeling too much pressure.
So keep it fun, keep it regular, and soon you'll see the improvement.
All right, Emma, let's talk about another fantastic tip. Mimicking masters. What's that all about?
It's about learning from the best, Jack. Listening to native speakers and trying to imitate their pronunciation and intonation can really help.
Like trying to talk like a famous actor or a news anchor, right?
Exactly. You can choose someone whose English you admire and listen to how they speak. It's not just about copying, it's about understanding the rhythm and flow of the language.
And how can our listeners practice this, Emma?
Recordings, try to repeat after them, match their tone, and even their facial expressions.
So you're saying I should start talking like I'm presenting the evening news. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, if that helps you improve, why not? But remember, it's about learning the subtleties of pronunciation, not just mimicking for fun.
Got it. And it sounds like a lot of fun, actually. Could this help with learning slang and idioms too?
Absolutely. By mimicking native speakers, you not only learn standard pronunciation but also pick up on casual language and cultural nuances that textbooks might not cover.
Absolutely. By mimicking native speakers, you not only learn standard pronunciation but also pick up on casual language and cultural nuances that textbooks might not cover.
That's a great point, Jack. And remember, it's not about perfection, it's about progress. Even if you don't sound exactly like your favorite actor or news anchor, the practice will help you get closer to natural fluency.
And speaking of natural fluency, documentary-style narration is a fun way to practice. Describe your actions like you're the star of your own show. It might feel silly at first, but it really helps.
Exactly. And don't forget about the importance of daily practice, whether it's talking to your pet, narrating your day, or mimicking a native speaker. The key is consistency.
Consistency is definitely key. And with all these tips, our listeners should feel more confident about their English-speaking journey.
Absolutely, Jack. Confidence isn't just about feeling good, it's crucial for effective communication. When you're confident, you're less likely to hesitate or second-guess yourself, which leads to smoother conversations.
So true, Emma. And building confidence starts with setting realistic goals. Don't expect to be perfect overnight. Celebrate the small victories, like understanding a full movie in English, or having a conversation without translating in your head.
Yes, and remember, making mistakes is part of the process. It means you're trying, and that's better than not speaking at all.
And getting feedback from others can also help. It gives you a clear idea of what to improve and reinforces that you're on the right track.
Exactly. Building confidence in speaking English is all about mindset and practice. The more you speak, the more natural it becomes.
That's very encouraging, Emma. It makes me want to go out and start chatting with everyone.
And you should, Jack. Every conversation is a step towards fluency.
Well, folks, that wraps up today's episode on gaining confidence in speaking English. I hope you all feel a bit more inspired to go out and speak your mind.
Definitely, Jack. Remember, everyone speaking English fluently starts with believing in yourself and embracing every opportunity to practice.
Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast for more helpful tips and some good laughs with us every week.
And if you have any questions or topics you'd like us to explore, comment below. We love hearing from our listeners.
Until next time, keep practicing and stay confident.
This is Jack and Emma signing off from Podcast and Chill.
Please like, share, and subscribe our channel.